Namaste to all dear friends. We welcome you for this session of Art of Happiness. I, Swami Prakashananda from Chinmay Mission, Delhi, would like to share my ideas about this beautiful topic. Do you know, friends, why did I choose this topic? Because giving happiness to all is the best thing we all can do in this life, isn't it? Yes. Let us understand this word art. This word art. What does it mean? It means a special skill is developed. A special skill is developed by continuous practice with lot of positive efforts and thereby gaining a mastery over it. And this is called an art. To understand this concept, we will see example from our own life. Are you ready? Yes, dear friends. A small child takes so much of time to speak. His mama and papa put continuous efforts, and finally a child starts saying some words like mama, papa. Further, with right practice, a child can speak a language. Similarly, same child takes a lot of time to walk on his own feet. In these efforts also, Mama and Papa is continuously supporting a child to walk. Then a day comes and this child starts walking. In this process, this child has fallen down so many times. But again and again he got up and a support is given. But he wants to walk, and that's why he could achieve a goal of walking. Friends, here is a time to think and analyze few things. Ready? Okay. First question. As this child now can speak a language, does it mean suddenly he has become a great orator? The answer is no. Similarly, in this case of child, just he can walk and even run. Does it mean he has become an athlete? Answer is straight no. Now, second question. Is it possible for this child to become a great orator or an athlete? Answer is yes. It is surely possible. Third question. How? By right guidance and continuous right efforts, it is possible. By taking this example and analyzing it, we could draw a conclusion that an art, if we have developed, then very special efforts are required to gain it. We will shift to the next step. Here we will now appreciate a very important point, that even though we all have capacity to be happy, but everyone is not happy. Why is it so? Answer is simple and direct. Because being happy is an art. Being happy is an art. And so we have to learn it and master the technique of happiness. So we have to learn it and master the technique of happiness. Friends, are we ready to learn it? Let us ask this question. What is this happiness? What is this happiness? Isn't it a good question? Now pay attention to analyze and understand the reality through an example. What is a happiness for a child? Question is, what is a happiness for a child? Happiness for a child means generally chocolates and toys. If these two things you give, a child becomes happy. Is this happiness remain same in his next stage of life? Means in a teenage? The question is the happiness of this child, which is because of the chocolate and toys, remains same in his next stage of life, that is teenage? Oh, answer is no, not at all. In this stage of teenage, this person considers riding a bike, gossiping with his friends, wow, and doing some mischief is a happiness for this person. Oh, now we have seen a change from the childhood to the teenage. Further ahead, it again changes when the same person becomes an adult and now wants to get a good job after his graduation or go abroad and do masters to get a better job. This is now a happiness for this person. Oh, it again changed from teenage to the adult person. Hope you have noticed it. Let us analyze different stages of life. In childhood, the requirement was chocolates and toys, which gave happiness to that child. In teenage, requirement is completely changed, and something else was now giving a happiness to this teenage person. Similarly, in case of adult, again requirement is changed, and that was the cause of happiness then. A question now can be asked: why in three different stages same things could not give happiness to same person? I repeat, why in three different stages same things could not give happiness to same person? Answer is because of his change of mind status. Because of the change of his mind status means the quality from one to another stage of life. A change of mind status is a main factor. Hope you have noticed it. Now let us ask this question: what is this mind? When we just understood a quality of the mind is a cause of happiness, then let us find out what is this mind. Friends, this mind is a subtle equipment. Let me give an example. As this body is a gross equipment for all of us to express ourselves in this world, similarly, this mind is a very subtle equipment which cannot be seen but which can be felt easily. Now, it is also an abode of all the experiences. It is an abode of all the experiences. It is a king of all the senses. It is a king of all the senses. On the direction of the mind, the sense organ contacts the world of objects, and what's happened then? As there is a contact of a sense organ with a sense object, like, ooh, tasty, tasty pizza, oh, yummy, yummy ice cream. This contact of the food item, called as the objects of the world, gets in contact with the tongue, called as the sense organ. Immediately, impulse is sent to the mind. Immediately, the impulse is sent to the mind. In the mind, it is labeled as good and bad. In the mind, it is labeled as good or bad or so. It is because of our mind's likes and dislikes. Dear friends, understand, our mind just works on this likes and dislikes of our own. If mind has too strong likes and dislikes, then a little change in the nature of object cause so much of agitation to the mind. I repeat, if mind has too strong likes and dislikes, then little change in the nature of object cause so much of agitation to the mind, because the object is not providing now a desirable result to our mind. Think yes or no. Then, if you think correctly, you will understand, yes, it is because of my likes and my dislikes. If I do not get a desirable result from the object or a person, then my mind gets agitated. Now, next, friends, understand all the objects and people in this world, and whatever you can imagine of this world are continuously changing. Let me repeat, my dear friends, understand all the objects and people, also all other things in this world are continuously changing. That is the real nature of object or any person or anything in the world. Therefore, put it in your mind, change is changeless law. Change is changeless law. What does it mean? That means the law which is very much correct and very much permanent is there will be continuous change in this world and the objects and the people of the world. If everything is changing continuously, how can my happiness will remain same? If everything is changing continuously, how can my happiness will remain same? $1 million question, isn't it? Yes. Then what could be the solution? What could be the solution? Let us discuss a nice example. A group of college friends, please imagine now, a group of college friends decide to have a big trekking adventurous tour. Big trekking adventurous tour in Himalayas. In Himalayas. They have done all the bookings. On a day of a tour, they all got up early in the morning to catch up a train. Wow, they could get into it and finally reach the destination campsite. Stayed in a small tent. Weather was too cold. There was no proper food, no proper washrooms. But mine was so ready. It did not matter to all of them. They could manage, sleep well. And next day, again, early in the morning, they all got up. Their guide took them to the base camp. And from there, everyone started walking up the mountain. Sometimes it's a stone as a hurdle. Sometimes a path is very narrow. Sometimes it's too slippery. Due to small waterfalls from the top of the mountain. Many times boys got hurt, but still they moved ahead. Food which was packed and given to them was just so. And some of them faced a breathing problem too because of high altitude. A guide was continuously motivating them. Finally, after a strenuous climb, they reached the mountain top at around 2 p.m. Oh, everyone was very excited and happy. So much of photo sessions with everyone, and there was so much of fun on top of the mountains. Now, their guide instructed them, let us go down, and before 6 in the evening, we must reach at the base camp. All the boys were so geared up, so much enthusiastic and full of energy. Only 4 hours are there. In this situation, as their mind is very enthusiastic and positive, they were on the top of the world. This challenge was not a problem of 4 hours to come back to the base camp. They started coming down, enjoying the beauty of the nature. Small waterfalls, snow-capped beautiful mountains, and cold wind of Himalayas. There was no tiredness, even though the body physically was really tired, but the tiredness never came on their way at all. There was no complaint in spite of so many difficulties, because the mind was ready for everything in that moment. Because the mind was ready for everything in that moment. Reached back before in time and were extremely happy amongst all the challenges. Dear friends, I would like to give my one of the experience of the Kailas and Manas Sarovar tour. We also went in a group, and do you know, Manas Sarovar, till then it's fine. Though when I went in 2009, the roads were not that fine. Then when I went again in 2017, China built 4 lanes road to the Manas Sarovar directly. First of my experience in 2009, we reached Manas Sarovar, and the season was first week of June. It was too cold when we reached at Manas Sarovar. There was a complete film of ice on the top surface of Manas Sarovar. That means Manas Sarovar means lake. It's in Tibet area of China, and it's a great pilgrimage for all of us. We went there. Now we have to take a dip. It is supposed to be a very, very sacred. So one of the enthusiastic person said, let us start with myself. So we broke some part of that ice, film of the ice, and this person ready for now a dip. Before that, on the shore of that lake or the bank of that lake, there were 2 tents. One tent for all the girls and ladies, and one tent for all the boys and gents to come fast after taking a bath and change your whole clothes there. So the person now just went inside and jumped into the Manas Sarovar and screamed on the top of the world, "Ah, Swami ji, bachao!" You know, it was so cold. He didn't realize. But when he went inside, then we just said, just wait, come up and down, take a 2-3 dips. In 2-3 dips, he was fine and could come out and go to the tent, and then again was comfortable. In such very cold weather, we all took a dip in Manas Sarovar, and it was fine. I'll tell you, in regular day-to-day Delhi atmosphere, mostly in winter, we don't dare to take a cold bath. But that time our mind was so ready and it was completely charged up. That cold water really didn't make a difference, and we were fine taking the bath in Manas Sarovar. Next important point, that when we reached at the base camp of Kailash Ji, and we have to trek 3 days. First day 14 kilometers, second day 22 kilometers, and the third day 16 plus kilometers. The trek started. Half of the people said, no, we can't go. So only 9 of us decided to go on the second day, which is a very, very steep climb on the Dolma Pass mountain. We started in the morning, early in the morning at 5:30. Half of the people were quite ahead, and one couple was not doing well, so I was just walking next to them, and one of them was so much tired and said, no, I can't do anything, and this and that. So I just gave them so much of inspiration, motivation through different stories of great Mahatmas. They started walking. Just believe we could reach on the top of the mountain at 3 in the afternoon. started at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. Then again coming back means coming down and reaching to our destination spot of that day took us so much long time. Just imagine, 10:30 in the night we could reach to the tent. Hardly we had something which was packed as a food. We could have little of it. But I'll tell you, even though there was so much of difficulty, but because of the grace of the God, as well as the beauty of the nature and the positive energy, we could easily reach to the destination of the second day. Dear friends, ask a question. How now this group of friends, when they also had such a happy experience, even though the situation was tough, the only answer to it, mind was ready to face any challenge, and it also kept its likes and dislikes away from coming into the mainstream. I repeat, mind was ready to face any challenge, and also this mind kept its likes and dislikes away from the goal to achieve, which generally in a day-to-day life experiences often becomes a hurdle in the path of happiness. Isn't it true? This is the truth. Oh dear friends, today situation of corona pandemic, the situation is no doubt very tough. Staying under lockdown condition is very challenging. But the readiness of the mind can bring best experiences even this situation. Now you are seeing and listening to the news channels how doctors are working so hard to give their best even in the difficult situation. Nurses and other staff members of the hospital, as well as the different workers in different areas, police and NGOs are doing their best. And when the news channel people go and ask these people, those who are volunteer workers, what is your experience? No doubt, in spite of so much of difficulty, sometimes a great, very negative experience from the people, still they are doing their best and enjoying their action to give the service to the mankind. Understand, this situation in this world also will change. So we all have to understand this will also pass away. Don't have any worry about it. Dear friends, therefore, art of happiness is to increase the acceptance of present situation, things and beings in this world, just by remaining focused on our goal, as above example of a trekking. Again, let me repeat. Happiness depends on the acceptance of the mind about the things and the beings, also the situations of the world. We all have to understand everything in the world is under continuous change. Every person is under a continuous change. Everything in the world is changing continuously. So, he who or she who has developed this art of acceptance of the present situation has learned the art of being happy in spite of difficulties. Please remember, it's not achieving goal alone is happiness. It's not achieving goal alone is happiness. But a journey is equally important. But a journey is equally important. Jai Ho. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my few thoughts on this topic of art of happiness. Hope these thoughts will help you to accept the present situation and still be happy by doing right efforts towards your goal, whatever it may be. Thank you again and bye-bye.